over 30 years, and it started when I was pretty young, with being molested, actually. And so being introduced to pornography through that. And so it's been pretty difficult and at the time, I didn't realize that this could be that kind of a problem. It could be an addictive problem. It could be, and at the time also, people really didn't diagnose it as an addiction. It was just, something that people did. And therefore, I thought there was something wrong with me, above and beyond just having a problem. And it's been pretty torturous for that many years as well. In the meantime, I've gotten married, and, the problem has continued through marriage, and me fighting it all the way and causing just complete havoc with my relationship, and even starting a relationship from being so young and having such a problem, going to a marriage and trying to build a relationship without even really knowing what a real relationship is, because of how skewed that vision puts you in when you're addicted to it. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was actually using this as an excuse to do the addiction. Any little thing that would happen in the relationship, well, that just proved to be that I should go and wallow in this addiction, and I was tearing my relationship apart and making myself out to be a victim in my own head. I was sitting there like, well, look at me, if my relationship wasn't so bad, I wouldn't be doing this, that kind of thing. And now I can totally see how I was feeding my own downward spiral. Right. And it was not going to get worse. I mean, not going to get better. So you're back a few months ago, and you're feeling all this stuff going on in your relationship, the church. You're feeling a little awkward and a little bit like a hypocrite and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a dad, we had talked about that when you first started. What was it that made you finally go, you know what? I'm going to jump in and I'm going to do this process full out. I'm going to just follow what Bob says, this crazy guy with the beard, whatever. Like, what was it that made you finally make that leap?
Well, I heard your story, and there were certainly definite parts that, struck a chord with me. And I've tried so many different things.
Yeah, you went to therapists and counselors. What did you do? What did you try?
I did go to a therapist. I went to 12-step program meetings. I've read I don't know how many books, and feeling like a hypocrite with my own kids. They're going through puberty themselves and having certain issues and things, and here I am trying to give them advice, and I'm like, but I am such a hypocrite, and I don't even know how to deal with this myself.
Yeah.
So I just broke down after feeling like I got an answer from my prayer, and that's when I called you. I wanted to be a good husband. I wanted to be a good father. I felt like the phrase I used inside my head so many times over and over was, here I am pushing everybody into heaven while I'm falling back into hell.
I know
that's absolutely how I felt, because it was like, I do everything I can for my family, but none of it's going to matter because in the end, I'm still a bad person doing bad things, and that's what's going to matter.
Tell me, so what's happened?
Sure.
This is like you jumped into this full bore, you did everything asked, and within a very short amount of time, you started seeing stuff happening. What changed?
After 30-something years of this, I was tired. I'm just tired. It's like, will this ever end? I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with this anymore.
Right.
And so when I decided to do this, I like you said, both feet jumped in, hold my nose and take the plunge, I'm going to do it full bore. But I'll tell you, the results are it's hard to put it into words in sometimes, because it's a complete change. I have such a sense of peace now. I don't have to sit there and constantly monitor myself. And every now and then I remind myself, holy cow, it's been like 7
since I've even like, you know, had like a little twinge or anything bother me, you know. And it's that sense of freedom, literal freedom that you feel that's just amazing. That you have to, the fact that you have to remind yourself that you feel free, it makes it 10 times better. Because like, wow, you just forget that it ever was a problem. Right. And to me, I can't express how much that is just an amazing change from just, you know, a few weeks ago to this. Right. And, you know, my wife has exclaimed how much better I am with the kids and how much more peaceful it is in the house because you know, and like I said before, I didn't understand I was doing this. I thought I was just, you know, hey, I'm okay, but, you know, everybody's like reacting crazy around me. Right. But I have noticed that I don't yell as much at the kids. The kids don't yell as much at each other. Me and my wife don't fight as much, and when we do, it's so much easier to resolve now. It's not this, you know, just angry, like, you know, days on end, you know, not talking to each other thing. It's now something where we can sit and we can resolve it because we're both being open and honest with each other. And, you know, I don't have to sit there and feel guilty anymore because I do feel free. And so it helps me not to hide stuff from her. It helps me to be more open and honest with her, which I thought at first was going to like make things worse because then she would have all this like evidence against me to use against me. But her reaction has been like, oh my gosh, I've never felt closer to you. Mm-hmm. And that on top of everything else is just amazing that my relationship has like grown so much from this too.
Right. The cool part is like it happens by itself, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not this white knuckle ride of, you know, how long can I go? You know, how far can I take this? It's just you don't even think about it, and that's amazing. That's such a liberating, amazing feeling to just go through your life and go, oh yeah, oh that used to be a problem, so okay, you know, wow. Right. I don't have to sit there and feel like I'm the weakest link in the family anymore either. You know.
Dude. Yeah.
It's an excellent feeling. I actually feel like I am becoming a good father, a good husband.
Now, what would you say is like the most meaningful thing that you've experienced to date about, like, from this process that you've gone
through? Peace. I don't feel like my life is in chaos anymore. I'm in more control. I don't have to fight. It's just there's just such a sense of overall peace that like I can just sit and be, you know. I don't have to worry about, you know, what's the next thing that's going to derail me, what's the next thing that's going to throw me into, you know, doing something bad. I can just sit and be and smile, you know, and just be happy about it.
So what would you say to someone who's like curious, like they're nervous about it, they're that guy that's like, I'm not sure if this will work for me, or if they have some doubts, they're on the fence, what would you say to them?
I was that guy. I had some doubts, you know, I prayed about it and I had a good feeling about it, but I still was like, you know, I've tried so many other things. I have literally tried so many other things, and this is just amazing. It works. I literally went through this eyes wide open going, you know, hey, you know, I believed in your story and I did it myself, and I'll be danged if here I am, and it works. So, you know, if you have any doubts, you know, take my word for it, you know, it works.
Do you have any final thoughts or anything before I end this?
Just go in. If you do decide to do this, go into it with your full heart open and just do it with every bit of intensity that you possibly can, and it will work for you if you do that. If you open yourself up and put your full intensity into it, it will work.